the new episode of the Perspective Podcast. With me, Angel here.
And I'm Cleo. Thanks for being here with us. We've got a really interesting speech to unpack. I'm a conservative and I care about the climate too, by Daniel Butcher France.
And for you guys' information, this talk is a pretty emotionally charged in the society nowadays. It's about climate change and politics, and usually these two feels like oils and water.
Right? It's like the moment climate is mentioned, suddenly people dive into their political corner like it's a battlefield.
But then I flip the script. Instead of treating climate as a left issue, she argues that climate is a human issue, and in her message, she said that conservatism and climate care are not opposite.
Yes, so let's start here, Angel. Why is this talk important?
Yes, because Cleo, climate needs everyone, not just activities, not just only party, not just young people, but everyone that live in this planet.
Yeah, and let's be real, guys. Polarization slows progress. So if only one side fights for climate solutions, we'll never move fast enough.
Exactly, and Dana recognized that, and she positioned herself as a breeder, not pointing fingers, not shaming, but inviting. Okay, now let us move to the first point. First, the speakers argues that climate shouldn't be boxed into one political identity because nature doesn't care who you vote for. We all live in this planet and we are responsible for that.
Yes, a very super grounded reminder, Angel. Sometimes we forget that. Next, so Danielle also mentioned that her conservative values equals with her environmental values. So she connects environmental care with personal responsibility first, fiscal discipline like avoiding waste, and then preservations for future generations, and last but not least, stewardship, which means that caring for what we've been entrusted with.
She basically say you already believe in this thing. Environmentalism fits into that.
So next, she also mentioned that cultural change needs to happen before policy change. So here, she emphasizes the shiftness of your attitude first. So if one person feels threatened by the politic ideas, they will shut down.
So she focuses on more persuasion over pressure. Tone matters, approach matters. Next, she also highlights that young conservatives who do cares about environmental, they are just tired about climate being used as a political weapon.
Now that's a perspective we don't get to hear often.
A lot of climate messaging is a fear or urgent, but which is justified, but sometimes that can be triggered political defensiveness.
Yes, and Danielle does the opposite. She uses belongings, a shared value, hope. Now, that's honestly more inviting than just yelling, do better, or you're the problem. So, alright, now let's talk about delivery because her body language obviously supported her messages, right?
Yes, the speaker, she stand tall the entire time. Open stand, shoulder relaxed, and each project confident without aggressiveness.
Right? Her hand gestures are open, not stiff or pointed, and that makes her feel approachable, not confrontational.
She also looks around the room, not just down at knocks. That signals honesty and connection, which is super important when you are asking people to rethink about identity and politics.
Yes, and her facial expression also matched her points. Concern when talking about climate changes, hopeful tone when discussing collaboration. And honestly, that emotional balance is what makes the audience make it feel like they're in it with her.
And all those cues together, posture, gesture, eye contact, and tone really reinforce her message of unity and shared responsibility.
Yeah, she's not just saying, let's work together, guys. She looks and sounds like she really believes in cooperation.
Okay, guys, now critic time.
Okay.
Okay, now Cleo, what did we think overall?
I think the talk succeeds in framing the climate as a universal issue, not just a partisan one. So I think this perspective is really valuable, especially right now.
Totally, but I will say I wanted more specific, like actual example of conservative driven climate initiative and policy proposal.
Yeah, it felt like a strong opening chapter and it made me think, great, so what do we do now? A couple of real world examples or policy ideas would have made the messages more grounded.
Still, her goal wasn't to be a policy textbook, it was to shift mindset, and in that sense, she nailed it.
Agreed. Tone matters just as much as content, and she handled the tone beautifully. But for the viewers who feel torn and they feel like they care about the planet, but they don't feel represented because their messages are not being shown, they are not being portrayed by the government or anything.
And validation can spark motivation, motivation can spark action. Okay, now what would you think that can make this message even more stronger in the future? Because I personally think that at few example of conservative, this can lead environmental wins, and that point speak further.
Yes, for me, I think how to get involved segment would empower her audience to act, not just agree.
Then more voices like both sides. It will help normalize climate as a shared mission.
Yes. So at its core, this talk is basically about unity, removing the us versus them lens. Yeah.
It's a reminder that saving a planet is not a brand, it's not a team based, but it's a collective responsibility.
And honestly, hearing someone speak about climate without arguing or dividing, refreshing.
Right. Alright, so before we wrap up, here's our big question for you guys. Do you think real climate progress really possible without political cooperation?
Let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Like this episode, subscribe, follow, and comment.
So guys, stay curious, stay kind, and stay hopeful.
See you guys next time.
Bye.